I can't take it anymore. The difficulty discussion in Wilds is a complete nightmare. It would be less horrible if maybe both sides understood each other, but that isn't the case. Okay, enough of that. It's too dramatic. Let me explain. This meme is pretty popular. There's other memes out there like it, but we're going to use this as our foundation. Now, let's look at a post like this. I can't wait for the new title update monsters and ranks to dog walk y'all.
Y'all!
Yeah, like, the people who want more difficulty, that's what they want. People want to cart. People want the possibility of a quest failing. Because, I mean, what would you do if this happened to you? You'd shape up and try harder. Different tactics, different armor sets. There's something to work for. A mountain to climb, a personal journey for that specific monster. People refer to those who want this as masochists. But do we need to be so dramatic? Do you want to fight a new monster and beat them first try for every monster in the series? Hopefully not, but you know, everyone's different. What really pushed me off the edge when it came to the difficulty discussion is this post. They are never satisfied. The meme itself is like the others, but they provided some text saying, "Why the game is too easy," said the guy who used mods all the time. Absolutely disgusting. If this was rage bait, 10 out of 10, I'm losing it, man. Not only does it suffer from the same issue the other memes we talked about, but it also implies that people who want harder difficulty are also people who use mods to make the game easier. The kicker to this? If you browse through the post history of this user, you'd find out they are in fact someone who mods in cheated sets. I tried to rationalize this by saying maybe this person is just talking about themselves in the post, but it specifically says they are never satisfied. I don't see these kind of discussions stopping anytime soon. With every title update, these memes will flourish, which is fine. I just wish as a community people could at least try to understand both sides of the argument, instead of coming up with posts like these. Let's talk about the Goomba Fallacy. Odds are, if you browse any of the Monster Hunter subreddits, you've seen some people post this image. The same people saying the game is too easy are not the same people posting about how hard the game is. But because a lot of people view the comments of an entire community as a single identity, they'll conflate that the entire community is a walking contradiction. Let's look at this post. Mizu is too hard. It's downvoted to 0, and the top comment loves posts like these after the game too easy posts. Now, is there context to this? Has the OP ever talked about the game being too easy? No. This is the first time ever posting in the Monster Hunter subreddit. Because of the huge strife the difficulty conversation has created in the community, you now have people who are seeking out posts that consider XYZ monster too hard, and then just jumping on them as if they're part of the problem. Just complete idiots, who smugly will write about, "Oh, the game's not too easy anymore, is it? That'll show you to ever criticize my entire personality." The sad part is that these posts are made towards complete new players who are just trying to share their experience. Like, go to any post talking about one-shots or if a monster is too strong, and you'll find these people. Like this. Is Tempered Mizu supposed to be this strong? And, of course, well, you all wanted harder monsters, and now you got them. You really just gotta appreciate the people replying with Goomba Fallacy, because this thing really does run rampant in the Monster Hunter community. The original poster even replied saying they never complained about difficulty, but that just doesn't stop people from smugly posting on each thread like some random person's experience is a gotcha to the rest of the community. I think it's fine if you're annoyed and fed up with the difficulty talk. If you think the game is in a great state and the difficulty thing is overblown, that's your opinion, and that's okay. People have different skills when it comes to games. But avoid being like these people. You're just fanning the flames and being just as annoying as the people you're railing against. And you're doing it against people who took no part in the discussion in the first place. Now, most of the discussion between difficulty and Monster Hunter has boiled down to just debate lording nonsense. My overall feelings with this subject is it's fine. To argue back and forth on whether it's hard or not hard, that's good for the game. It's when you have random smug posters pulling up on random threads just to throw in some gotcha that bothers me. For the people who are super invested in this argument, I'd just say take a break. It's okay if people think the game is easy, just as it's okay if people think the game is hard. If you let anyone else's opinion take away from the game you're playing, then you probably shouldn't be indulging in social media for that game. If you're someone who's browsing new posts on Monster Hunter subreddits just to say that's what you get for saying the game is too easy, to people who aren't even invested in the topic, you are cringe. Ew. Not even MHG, which is the 4chan general for Monster Hunter, has these kinds of posts. While they'll argue over whose feet are better, or they're not as cringe as to spurg out over every post talking about something being too easy or too hard. The subreddits are just completely poisoned to any kind of conversation involving these issues. If you're someone who does want to vent about difficulty issues, whether it be easy or hard, avoid the subreddits. Maybe go to the Discord. At least there, people don't have issues talking about this kind of thing without mobs of smug posters jumping down your throat. This is a lot to ask for, and no single YouTube video is going to change how an entire community acts. It's just a pattern of behavior that reeks of insecurity, and it's interrupted my enjoyment of reading discussions on the subreddits. I won't stand for it. I'm going to click this downvote arrow and go on with the rest of my day. I don't have all the answers, and it's hard to come up with a solid foundation to how you feel on something. Playing through all of Wilds, I did think it was easy, and I attribute it to the fact that status effects like Paralyze didn't diminish a weapon's raw power, which is commonly how things were in the previous games. It wasn't until after reading through the back and forth discussions on difficulty that I realized it isn't just the fact that Paralyze is really good, it's compounded with the fact that wound staggering and knockouts were also extremely common, without monster health accounting for the amount of disables the hunters have in their arsenal. And on the flip side, I've learned a lot about the people that do have a hard time with this game, and the newer players. They seem to focus on more of a brute force kind of strategy, where less learning monster movesets and more just stick to the back legs or tail, somewhere safe, and just attack while waiting for a potential stagger or knockout. Obviously not all players, but it's a common theme. Honestly, I can't even finish this video without finding more instances of these kind of interactions. It just blows my mind. Instead of an interesting discussion like, hey, maybe it's just artificial difficulty to add in one-shots to a monster, people would rather post, this is what you get after complaining Wilds was too easy. Goomba, please help me. Surely they'll understand what you mean, right? It's so simple. It wouldn't be so bad if they were downvoted, but they're not, which means people agree with the sentiment. Screw this. I'm going back to playing more GU and reading about how people are timing out on the first monster because they're progressing through the hub and not the village. Thanks for listening to the ramblings of an insane person. Thanks to the Patreon. I'll see you later. Maybe I can get him to come at me.
Ooh.